Hi, in today's tutorial or video I'm gonna show you how to deal with Dynamo's lists and very basic steps of it. So as you might know that the lists is actually providing us a very fast way to create a group or combine a group of elements in as a one entity or as a list. Let's have an example. Let's go for a point, for example. This point by coordinate, and it's gonna create for us 1 point on a default value of 0, 0, 0, as you might know. So if you go here list, you might be experiencing this guy, which is the most famous and the most common list. Actually, we gonna deal with Dynamo, but let's have a look. For example, on a different one for today as a starter. Let's go for a range. So if I have a quick look at the list range here, it's have a start value, it's have an end value, and it have a step of a 1. So there's a default value to be created, and it's starting from a 0, ending up by a 9. You might see that it's actually creating 10 elements if you want to create them. If you want to count them, as you can see here, starting by 0, and 0 will be a value actually. So if you need, or actually if you connect this to the X, you might notice that Dynamo will create for us a group of elements here based on the distance of the changes that happen here as a range in here. So if you want to fix this, if you want to fix that, you might notice that it's 0, 1. It's the change that happen in X as the same value as you get from this list. So that's fair and easy. If you go a number here, you can experience a different type of setting. You can go ahead and you can change this to start and this to end, starting from 0, for example, ending with a 5. That will give us a 6 number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, starting to count from 0 as a startup value for this list. It's a single or it's a one layer list, which is the very basic one, and it's all poured out here in the X value. You can change the steps, so I can go ahead and paste this. The default value here is 1 for the step. I can go here for another value. Let's say go 2 and connect that, and we can notice that now it starts from 0 and then jump 2 and then jump 2, and then by this we have only 3 elements, and thus we have 3 different value in the X, and thus we have 3 points. So that's a basic way of dealing with the very basic list creation. Again, the list.create is the most important. What I prefer to work with this guy, which is List.Range, maybe because it have an easier way to understand how you create now a group of elements based on a list that you can create a different value for X and so on. But can we do this list range in a different way? It's of course yes. So if I double click here, actually let's do this in a different phrase. So I can go 0 here as a start point, double dots here, and then the end value, which is 10, and then 2 dots, and then I can give a step of 2 and then have a comma. Let's see if this is correct. So now I can fix this. Let's see if we are going okay. Yeah, it's technically the same. So it's a very basic way of saying that I want that's the start value, that's the end value, and yes, that's the step value as a number of 2. So you can connect this to this guy instead, and you're gonna get the same results actually to substitute all that. That's the nice thing about the code block, by the way. So you can do it this way, or you can do it that way again. It's really nice anyway. So if you deal the list way, if you connect this with this guy like this, and it's gonna create, let me make the steps as 1, and you can see it's creating this guy. If you connect this in X and Y in the same time, it's gonna create that, which is an inclined line, because that's the value of it goes to 1, 0 by 0, 1 by 1, 2 by 2, and so on. And here it would be a good idea to experience a different type of placing. So that's the shortest things, which is the finding out that that's the minimum on this list that goes to the S, and the minimum of this list goes to the Y. And probably if even you change it to the longest, you might not experience some much big differ because they are actually the same thing. But the funny, lovely thing, if you right click here and you go to the cross product, you might experience a good way to create a grid here, and that's what we usually expecting out of getting this to the X and Y, rather than having rather than having this on a short list. So that's beauty. So if I want to change this, let me interfere it with this guy. So let's go this for Y, and by this 0 to 4. See, now that's now if I go to lacing, and that's the shortest, so it follow the shortest list in here. Now if we go to the longest, it's gonna go to the longest. It's gonna start up by creating 1, 2, 3 points, and then continue the rest depend on the longest list actually. And if you want to go to the cross product, it's going to create, you know, the whole expected as an X and Y grid out of that. So that's it for the basic or the first step in learning list, and we have to see the list range and how it works and how we compare it to the code block, or how to create a similar thing here in the code block. I always try to compare that for you. I wish that you find that useful. Thank you very much and have a good day.